Good evening, musical friends and family. Today is May 25th, 2023, and it is Thursday. I hope you all had a wonderful Thursday. I sure did. Tonight's podcast episode, I actually want to talk about something personal for me. And this is for the new musical friends and family who joined the Musical Friends and Family channel. Welcome. And for those who have been watching, listening to my channel, this is a personal story that I don't think I've ever shared before, but this is something that I actually want to talk about from the very beginning. My first inspiration when it comes to the instrument piano. And how I'm going to call this episode, Born with Something I Cannot Never Explain. Story time. My first inspiration when it came to the piano, I was 8 years old. It started in Stockton, California, at my Nana and Grandpa's house, the house that we grew up in, as I call it. I remember when you walk in, on the left-hand side, there would be the dining room that would connect to the kitchen with the high countertop and the high chairs. When you walk straight, you'll see the living room. And then on the slight right will be the hallway that led to the bedrooms. But there would be another room on the right-hand side, and it was another dining room, lounge room, but we called it the piano room. I remember that white couch with the glass coffee table, and then there would be the piano room. I would watch my Nana play the piano. She's a pianist. She's a jazz pianist. We call her Starina. And whenever she would play, I would admire her from afar and watch, listen. And I thought to myself, I want to play, So my mom and dad gave me lessons when I was 10 or 11 years old, and I believe I only stuck with it for a year and a half, and that was because the lessons got expensive. I remember during that time that my teacher asked me what did I wanted to learn on the piano, and I said Christmas music. So there was Jingle Bells, there was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, things like that. And I think that is why, how many years later, why it was so significant that I had to do a December playlist on my channel. Love Christmas music. Never get sick of it. Back to my story. I remember the first keyboard I got, it was Yamaha. It was like maybe 60, the smallest keyboard. I was happy with it. Practice it. Very small. And then I remember at some point, I believe got a different keyboard. It was the light-up keyboard. That was 60 keys as well. And I just remember where I learned how to play My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. I remember I learned how to play Saving All My Love for You. And I actually remembered I practiced for release on that one. I might probably play that again sometime, maybe this year. For release. It's a great song. Maybe with the piano chords twist. Then I remember the first song I played by ear was If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys. That was in 2004. I was 14 years old. I remember I was practicing in Nana's piano room one day, and my cousin came in, and he was like, "That song just came out. Holy crap." I'm like, "What?" And I was 14, and I was embarrassed. I was shy. I was like, "What are you talking about? Oh, did I do something?" And I thought I did something wrong or something. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. So I was like, no, keep going. And then so I started practicing other songs, like Harry Potter. I remember I was practicing Aladdin and some songs on and off. I was 14. I remember 15, 16, 17, 18, I would still practice, and it was on and off on the piano. I remember during that time, in my late teens, I would take pictures with the baby grand piano at my Nana's. And I just remember there was another picture where I would take a picture with my friends, one of those photo magic packet pictures, and one of the props was a piano. Now I think about it, piano seems to always resonate with me. But at that time, I didn't think of anything why. So fast forward, when I was 18, I went to college, and I just remember I took a piano class. I took a beginner's piano class to restart my memory, refresh my memory. And I just remember one of the songs that I was practicing was the Can Can song. And the way how they were teaching it was kind of off for me, but I kind of got used to it, but it was still a little off for me. So when I practiced it the way, using piano chords, and all of a sudden the classmate comes in and says, "How come you're in here? You should be an intermediate piano." And I said, "Me? Intermediate? No way." He's like, "Yeah, you should." So when that piano class was over, that semester, I took intermediate the next semester, and for some reason intermediate was actually very difficult for me. I actually dropped out in the middle of that class. Now I think about it, I wish I would have actually continued. I just felt like intermediate was level 5, and for me I felt like, what happened to 2, 3, and 4? It was like a big jump for me, I guess. And when I wanted to major in music, because that's what I wanted to pursue, one of the classmates, she was telling me, it's going to take a long time to finish majoring in music, and you won't make a lot of money. So I really wish I would have listened to my gut feeling that I should have pursued in what I love and what I wanted to do. But like I said, I wasn't who I was during that time, and I was listening to other people's opinions and other people's talking, and I was too busy worrying about maybe I need to start thinking more realistically. So I remember during my 20s, I kept pursuing other majors, changing majors, taking classes, and not being able to finish. And then even though when I was in my 12-year relationship with my first ex-boyfriend, I remember still playing piano on and off, but I would only play on my headphones. But each song I would play on my headphones, I would play them, but didn't think of anything of it. Like I would play pop songs, and I'd be like, nah, that can't be it. I would play rock songs, and I was like, can't be it. Play Rammstein songs, even back then. And I thought, nah, I can't, you know. I was always doubting myself. And at some point, fast forward between late 20s, I just remember I would still play that piano on and off. But the first time I was able to explain a song in a tutorial in piano chords, and that was the song from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mondo Bongo by Joe Strummer and the Miscelarios. And I just remember hearing that song a lot, and I loved it. And I just couldn't find anything that was close to a music sheet. I couldn't find anything that could relate to it, so I ended up practicing it. And I ended up practicing it, uploading it on YouTube in 2014, and something was saying, comments were saying, do you have the music sheet? Where can I find it? I can't find it nowhere. Can you do tutorial? And I thought, how am I going to explain? So I looked at the piano chords book, and I realized I was playing piano chords, and that was the only way I will explain. And I always tell people when I practice a song, I cannot read piano sheets. I can't sell them. I can only explain in piano chords and a melody hand. So the melody hand will be my right, the chords hand will be my left. And I play very elementary style type of way. If you would like to add more notes and add more chords, be my guest. It's your version. I just wanted to share that a song can be done on the piano, and it can. Again, born with something I cannot explain. Then when the pandemic came, and my job closed, and when that voice intuition told me to start playing that piano, and I said, why? Just do it. And then when I said, well, what I play? And I said, well, play anything. And it was in that moment I realized, when I was practicing songs in 2020, that I thought, what would be the one thing that I would want to do if these were my last moments on earth, knowing there was a virus out there that would take my life in a matter of months, weeks, or days. And that's when I started to keep playing that piano and picked it back up again, because that instrument was what I loved. And then I remember in 2021, experimentation year, I wanted to keep playing and keep practicing and experimenting. Because we were experimenting with other playlists and songs. What can we think of to put together? And we did it throughout that whole year. So when I got my letter from YouTube in December 2021 that said we cannot wait what you have in store for us in 2022, and I thought, oh boy, I didn't think anyone was listening to me. I didn't think YouTube was listening or watching. So I just remember that, oh, I have a lot of playlists. A lot of songs that I want to try. And so that's when we did a song a day in 2022. From 2022 to fast forward today. And again, I just was born with something I can never explain. Only that I vow to use what I have for good. And just pursue what I love. And finally being myself. The self that I felt like I had to hide for years. I remember I get comments of saying, oh, you're pursuing your dream. This is a dream. And to be honest, I didn't really feel like it was a dream. It was something of born with something I can never explain. And I wanted just to use it to help people, to heal people, to use what I have for good. I remember one of my musical family said that your uncles pursued in music and they never made it. And that is the last thing that it's on my brain, is making it. In terms of what making it, I look at it that I'm just being myself. The self that I felt like I had to hide for years. Or people think that I have the intentions of doing this for very unsincere reasons or very judgmental thinking, not to mention that the jealousy and envy is to feel some type of way, and it's never positive. And I'm just being myself. I'm being myself by helping people to learn a song that possibly they cannot find anywhere online, and I'm happy to help. Or the fact that they want to find their voice and sing a song, and I happen to practice a song that they want to sing. Help them to find their voice. Or have someone play an instrument, whether it's guitar, a flute, saxophone, ocarina, a violin, and they could play it along with my piano practices in a way that keeps us connected. I took a vow that when I started doing this piano journey that I would expect that I was going to get maybe a few people that would not understand what I'm doing, whether it's jealousy, envy, or anything that had to do with a very unsincere place, unsincere feelings. I tell myself, expect that will happen to you during this journey. The one thing I didn't expect was everybody. I didn't expect everybody was going to be like that. And all I am is just finally becoming the self I felt like I had to hide for years. Because I was born with something I can never explain. Only that I still vow to use what I have for good. I can never be cold-hearted or to react in the way they did to me. But we're learning how to be tough, to be strong, to still keep sharing this light during these dark and strange times of our lives with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everything, musical friends and family. It means a lot to support this channel. Well, I think that's it for tonight's podcast episode. My camera is going to die. Stay safe and stay in good health always until the next podcast Thursday.